All right, let's get it done with this important thing. Because I don't know exactly where to start, really. But in general, well, I actually start by crediting the source because I like to credit my sources. I read a brief tweet by the account named Bowtie Bull, which teaches you about how to build businesses, how to behave in life, and also how to prevent others from knowing exactly how much you're worth. So, let's say that you're a millionaire and you don't want other people to know that you're a millionaire, then you lie down. That's sort of like what they're preaching, or that's just part of what they're preaching. And this actually got me thinking because I read a tweet by them or a post on X, whatever it's called these days, where they effectively said that if you don't want anybody to bother you or to pester you and to steal your time, then just lie down. As in, don't give them any ammunition. Don't make them understand or know that you have money if you do have money, right? Because why would you? Why would you publicly advertise for all the money you have? Why would you sit there and count your cash? Let's say that you're at a restaurant and you want to flash your riches. You want to show off your watch, your widget. Maybe you have a ring. Maybe you're wearing very expensive glasses, and you want to count your cash as well. Maybe you have an expensive phone, and maybe you arrive in a Lambo or a Porsche or some other expensive car. I don't know jack shit about cars, so maybe a Porsche really isn't expensive, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is this. If you want them to know that you are rich and you have a lot of money and you therefore have a lot of assets for them to steal so that they can bother and pester you. And I'm not only talking about people who want to steal from you. I'm also talking about people who want to do so-called business deals with you, right? Hey, you know what? I have a business deal. I have a proposal. You make a lot of money. I want to get rich. So why don't, we work on this deal? Well, isn't it curious that this deal has never worked and that they always approach you when you do have money, right? That's essentially what they're teaching. And by they, I mean Bowtie Bull. And they're right. Because who really wants other people to know how much money they have? No, most people just want to be left alone, right? Now, there's the odd person who thrives on showing off, that's fine. But for the overarching general population of those who have money and who are rich and so on, they just want to be left alone, right? Think about it. So in that case, you lie down. And I'm going to tell you how I would have lied down and how I planned. Well, maybe I shouldn't say how I plan to lie down, but whatever, it doesn't really matter because who's really going to watch this in 10 years? Well, maybe there are some watch or listen to this. Whatever, but ideally, hypothetically, if you are going to lie down and say that you have less than what you have and give off the impression that you have less, you don't wear particularly expensive clothes, but not particularly shabby either, because then it doesn't make sense, right? You don't show up in expensive cars, you show up in regular cars that don't attract attention, like a gray Skoda maybe, or some such, like a boring ordinary car that nobody cares about. Nobody wants to be seen driving around in a Skoda or Skoda or Volkswagen or Toyota or Honda or some such, right? Nobody wants to be seen driving around in those. Certainly nobody shows off their Toyota. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. Well, I mean, maybe if you're living in a culture where Toyota Land Cruisers and Hiluxes are the shit, then maybe you show them off. But in general, you don't show off your Toyota, right? So why not just drive a Toyota? I mean, they're reliable, you're gonna get left alone, people won't pester and bother you, and they surely won't know that you have money. Think about it. It makes perfect sense. So you lie down, you don't wear particularly expensive clothes, you don't show off your expensive watches and so on. And if you buy, the expensive stuff, maybe you're into cars, that's fine. I personally am not into cars. I couldn't give a shit. And I can't really tell the difference between a Lambo and a Ferrari. Really, I can't. Now, if you have the interest in cars, so you buy the cars, but you don't advertise it to the public scene, right? Think about it. And if you buy the expensive home, you don't let anybody know. You don't advertise it. You surely don't post it on Instagram. Well, I mean, if you want to attract people who want to harm you and hurt you, then you do so. But if you want to be left alone, you don't post it on Instagram. You preferably want people not to know that you have an expensive home, right? So, and so on and so forth. And really, that's it. Just think about it. Lie down, follow the advice of Bao Tai Bull, because it'll save you long term, and also it'll prevent you from attracting the people who drain you of your time and energy. And if you want to learn other ways to prevent yourself from, to prevent yourself from getting subjected to people who drain you of your time and energy, that is the time and energy vampires, the TEVs, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is below the episode description wherever you're watching and or are listening to this. And I'll see you later.